Well, Tom and Rick, the storyline last night played out exactly as everybody thought. And Roch, let's see, the Orioles bullpen, they were good. Tigers bullpen, not so much.
You think they struggled a little bit?
A little bit.
I seem to recall that, yes. I think it was an eight-run, eighth inning that did the trick. And Tommy Hunter ends up in a game he had no intention of pitching in. It was supposed to be a 4-out save for Zach Britton. All of a sudden, you have an 8-run inning. Tommy gets up, loads the bases, finishes it up. But again, that is the biggest edge the Orioles have in this series, and it played out. The Tigers have been worried about that bullpen all season. Jim Johnson is here, but not on the roster. They signed Joel Hanrahan in spring training. He never got off the mound in Lakeland. They've got serious issues back into their bullpen. The Orioles took full advantage of the depth that they have. And I like the fact that Tommy Hunter, he closed out the division clinching game here, closed out game one last night. I think he's really found his niche now. Not safe situations, but finishing out these big games.
And I think we saw a pattern that may emerge in the postseason, the way Buck used the bullpen.
Yeah, welcome to the playoffs. And it's all hands on deck, like Buck says. He's as good as managing a bullpen as anybody in baseball, but it's completely different in the postseason. And we saw Andrew Miller coming into the 6th inning, which never happens. Through 1 2/3 inning, he'd only gone more than an inning with the Orioles 3 times during the regular season. Counted 32 pitches for him last night. That tied his season high back on April 16th when he was still in Boston. But again, you use everybody differently. Zach Britton was in there in the 8th inning. How often did we see that this year? But guys are going to, every night, they're going to be available because every game is a must-win. So Buck changes his philosophy completely, managing in the postseason, and they've got the bullpen and the depth that they can do that and get away with it. Detroit, maybe not so much.
Now, this is the big swing game. The Tigers want to get a split. The O's want to go up 2-0, and Wei-Yin Chen's on the mound. The Tigers, they feast on lefties.
They do. I think Wei-Yin Chen might be the most underappreciated 16-game winner in baseball history. Is anybody outside of Baltimore talking about this guy? But it's true. Buck had talked about, with Detroit they're going to be a tough challenge for Chen. Buck knows that. And I was thinking, when he didn't announce his Game 2 starter right away, maybe he was thinking of pushing Chen back because of that. And I thought, you know what, Chen's going to be left-handed in Game 3 or 4 as well, so it really doesn't matter. You may as well run him out there for Game 2. Right. And he's done a much better job of defending himself against lefties, which you won't see very many of them, but I think it's a key point in his season. They were hitting over 300 against him, way over, earlier in the year. He got that average down, but now he's going to have a slew of right-handers that he's going to have to face. But he's got a couple long guys backing him up. Jimenez can help out. Gausman, even Brock's a different bullpen structure than we've seen before now with Jimenez in there. So the NF has guys that got depth back there. If Chen has to leave early, he's got the right-handed longman that can help out. But the plan is get him through 5 and then go to that bullpen again.
Well, and the bullpen last night was sensational, and they don't mind going more than 1 inning. And if Gausman has to come in to bridge the gap, that's why he's out there.
Right. He told me when I talked to him earlier, he's like, I'm going to be going the bullpen because I don't know what my role is, maybe longman. He could be a power arm in the 7th or 8th inning, but he's a very versatile guy, and he's comfortable in the pen now. He wasn't sure if he could do it last year. He had to learn how to warm up quickly, things like that, and he's really gotten comfortable with it. Of course, he'd rather be starting. The plan next year would be that he'd be starting in a playoff game, but I think he's a valuable guy to have in the pen because there's a lot of different things you can do with him and an upper 90s fastball.
All right, so the big swing game, Game 2 here at Camden Yards. Back to you in the studio.